Hey everyone, this is Paul Gale from paulgalenetwork.com, and thank you for joining me today for video game news. It is April 8th, 2021, and these are the top stories of the day. To kick things off, we got a recent update for the Nintendo Switch, which was the 12.0 update, and in it, it was just supposed to bring some more stability and whatnot to the system, but data miners, as always, do their best to find out if there's anything behind the scenes going on, and it seems that certain files allude to there being a 4K dock in the works, and a 4K dock would be very convenient to go along with the new Nintendo Switch Plus model, presumably later this year, and Bluetooth audio could possibly be in this new Nintendo Switch console, and supposedly we've got a name of what this new device is, and that's the Aula, A-U-L-A, kind of the code name. Nintendo and other developers oftentimes have code names that they use internally, such as Nintendolphin back in the day, which was just the Dolphin, which eventually became the GameCube. And, this has gone on for years. You've got Scorpio recently with the Xbox One X and such. So, more and more likely, this is going to be a thing, and I'm excited for it. Of course, we have E3 coming up in just a little over 2 months, so that could be the place where Nintendo would just blow the roof off the digital roof that is and say, hey, we've got games coming. Breath of the Wild 2, boom. Metroid Prime 4, boom. That's the wish. Bayonetta 3, boom. That's my trifecta. And here, Nintendo Switch Plus coming out. Wouldn't it be crazy if they said coming out this September, just before fall? Beat that holiday rush. Come out in September, fresh on the Switch 4.5 year anniversary, restock, and then hit Black Friday, November, holidays hard. That would be pretty exciting. We'll see, but for now, we just gotta wait. Moving on. This is a bit of an interesting story because earlier today, Borderlands 3 Director's Cut has something interesting pop up on its page. And it has the release dates and platforms on the right, as you can see here. PC, PlayStation 4, I'm skipping one, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. Yeah, that's right. Nintendo Switch right here in the middle, same date and date as the other platforms I mentioned, August 4th, 2021. And for the system, Nintendo Switch that is, to not have the game itself to get the director's cut is intriguing. Was this a mistake? Was it an accidental leak? Well, according to some online, Take-Two announced that it was a mistake. It was accidentally put up. And if you look now, Nintendo Switch is no longer mentioned. But is it, or is it a cover-up? Hard to say. It could be someone online who just typed in all of the platforms and didn't think in the moment to double check, and to be safe, just put everything that they could think of just in case, hit enter, no one proofed it, boom. Or it could be accidentally revealed in this manner, prematurely realized, oh, not supposed to do that yet, not until the Nintendo E3 or the Direct or our own presentation announcing that Borderlands 3 is coming to Nintendo Switch, or maybe just to the Nintendo Switch Plus, or hard to say what, but interesting nonetheless. We will see if this game makes it to the platform or not. Take-Two's been good with Nintendo lately. We do have that Borderlands collection and other titles from them on the system, so it's definitely possible to see Borderlands 3. I, for one, would welcome it, but if anything does come concrete, PGN will let you know for sure. Moving along, this is pretty nice to see. Streets of Rage 4, it was announced today that over 2.5 million downloads of the game have been put out there across all versions, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, PlayStation 4. So that's really good, solid number. I'm a big fan of the game. I like it, so I'm happy. Of course, I have the game in physical cartridge format. But it was announced that they're having a Mr. X Nightmare crossover later this year. 3 new characters, more content is coming for free. That's awesome. That's very much welcomed. So when that does drop, I will let you know and tell you when to go check it out and what my feedback is on it as well. And finally, since it is Thursday, you know what that means. One of my favorite things to talk about, Famitsu Sales data. This is representing week 14 of 2021, which is the March 29th to April 4th window. Thank you, Chris1964 from the ResetEra.com forums for putting this data nicely together in the Reset Era forums. At the number one spot is Monster Hunter Rise with 277,604 copies sold. That's a 79% drop from the previous week. That sounds like a big drop, and it is, but this is in line with most Monster Hunter games. They range from 72, 75, 80, 82. It's in that window, so 79 is respectable. The game also sold digitally, however, but you know, the overall drop was still in that 79% category, but the game is doing an extremely good job in both Japan and worldwide. In fact, of the 5 million sold worldwide, slightly over 2.5 million, slightly over half, are just in Japan. So if you look at this total right here of 1.5 million in Japan being just physical, that means that the game has sold 1 million copies digitally, and that's really wild. It could be somewhere around, we don't know the exact number, but somewhere around 2.6 million in Japan and 2.4 million the rest of the world. Seems to be about fair. Reasonable assumption I should say, of what it is at. Coming in at number 2, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, still hanging in, 27,000 copies. Number 3, Momotaro Dentetsu with 16,000. Number 4 is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with 12,000. Number 5, Ring Fit Adventure with 11,000. 6, Minecraft Nintendo Switch version with 10,000. 7 is Animal Crossing, 9,600. Number 8, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with 9,000. Number 9, one PS4 game on this list, and that's Outriders with 6,596. And at number 10 is Splatoon 2 at 6,000. Now, sometimes I present to you the top 10, sometimes the top 30. I have 30 available to me right now, so I'm just going to scroll down this list and see what else we've got. We've got Pokemon Sword and Shield, Story of Seasons Clubhouse Games, Super Mario Party, Super Mario 3D All-Stars, Little Nightmares 2, Apex Legends, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Maker 2. Here's the one PlayStation 5 game, which has been a while since we've seen something in the top 20 from PS5, and that's PS5 version of Outriders. If you look at the difference, PS5 did 2,431 copies, PS4 did 6,586 copies. Neither did phenomenally well for their debut, but at least both versions were able to chart. Going down the list, you've got Human Fall Flat, Fitness Boxing 2, Bravely Default 2, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Family Trainer, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. Quite a bit jump that week, with up 33% from the previous. The game's closing in at that 400,000 mark. Will it hit it? Yeah, eventually. It'll take a couple of months at this point. The game's winding down, but you never know. With the official announcement, new trailer of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, we might see an increase once again in Hyrule Warriors and in Breath of the Wild. When the Hyrule Warriors DLC comes out in a few waves, that also might spike this game. So with digital, it's obviously over 400,000 in Japan alone, but I wanted to talk a little bit about this game because I really hope that it continues to sell well and gets more attention leading up to Breath of the Wild 2, because I thought it was a great one. At 27, we've got Densha de Go. Then we've got Pikmin 3 Deluxe, SD Gundam G, Taiko no Tatsujin, and then that's the top 30. You're looking at 28 for Nintendo Switch, 1 for PlayStation 4, and 1 for PlayStation 5. The real winner here is Monster Hunter Rise. It's doing really good things for the system. 2.6 million in Japan in that short of a time is phenomenal. It's selling really well digitally, and it looks like if you combine the first 2 weeks of data going off of the assumption that it's at 2.6 million, this makes it faster selling for that given time than Monster Hunter World officially in Japan, taking into consideration physical and digital for Monster Hunter World, and that's also really big. This game will easily become Capcom's second best-selling game ever. Will it pass Monster Hunter World? That's going to be a challenge, but regardless if it's 1 or 2, it's going to do very well for Capcom. It's already doing well. And moving into hardware, we've got Nintendo Switch at 135,076 units sold for the week, down from last week. Understandable, last week was the Monster Hunter Rise launch, and also a little bit down from last year by 19,000, but for this year, up to this point, Nintendo Switch is still ahead in 2021 over 2020 for these respective amount of weeks. It's ahead by almost 26,000. So it's going to be a neck and neck race for a while. The next couple of weeks in Japan, for the previous year, these next 2 weeks were pretty low. Stock dipped out, people were busy playing Animal Crossing, software continued to sell, but hardware were in the 25,000 range. So quite a big drop after 3 blockbuster weeks. So I think it's going to be easy for Nintendo to outsell 2020's Nintendo Switch amounts for the next 2 consecutive weeks. Even if they could sell somewhere, and I think it would be on the low range of 2 weeks at 75,000 each, that would put it in a pretty good spot to be significantly higher than 2020. PS5, this is disappointing to see because it dropped way down to 20,000 again. After a nice week, a healthy looking 62,000 previous week, I had a feeling that it was, I don't want to say a fluke, but I had a feeling that it's not going to be the new baseline. Sony's not going to be able to pump that many out to Japan on a weekly basis. And even though I thought it's probably going to go down, it went down by a lot. It went back down to 20,000 level. Now 20 is not as bad as like 12 or 13, but you know, a base of like 40 would be healthy. We'll see. PS4, 1,591, 3DS, 752, Xbox Series just plummeted once again. I wasn't thinking that, yeah, Xbox Series S and X are, you know, at 1,000 baseline now, but would it have been nice to see a new base of 500? Yeah, but it's a little bit too optimistic for Xbox in Japan. 159 for the week. Now, could they have just not shipped enough? That's probably the case with PS5, with Xbox Series S and X. Even if they did ship, you know, 100,000 wouldn't sell. So it's a little bit different for Microsoft than Sony. Sony doesn't have a ton of blockbuster exclusive games, but the console would sell out completely probably if they did have 100,000 available. Although maybe not. Maybe not all 100,000 would sell in a given week, you know. But I'm more likely tending to think that it would do most of that amount, whereas Xbox, they're still not there in Japan, and they probably never will have this triumphant success there, but hopefully they could continue building, you know. That's going to do today for video game news. We've got a rumor with Borderlands 3. We'll see what's going on with that. We've got some Nintendo Switch Plus talk. Some things found behind the scenes which make us think more and more likely that this system is indeed happening this year. And we've got some Famitsu Sales. All around pretty cool. Let me know what you thought of that Streets of Rage 4 talk. And as always, thank you for watching. This is PGN signing out. Hope you all have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.